Hi and welcome again to the one of the last for the moment issues of Steve's vintage radio long stay workshop. When you read this, I will be on a plane. I do hope to get some stuff going over there very soon, but there might be a gap, so this could be the last one for a while, but I hope you enjoy it anyway. These sets are Philips, the British. They operate on the dropper principle, and they are B3G57U. They're very common, but they've got one or two things which need to be discussed, so let's discuss them. The first thing with these, and I'll just turn it round so you can see. Like that. It doesn't have a UCC85, it has two UF80s on the VHS side of it. This is quite an old but a very reliable radio, this as Philips's go. But they do have the habits, like all radios do. One of them actually is that you can get most of it sorted without having to take the back off, because if you look there, you see it's there. I don't know what that is, but yeah, okay. This has had some work done on it, I can tell. Okay, well, I'll bear that in mind. Yeah, like I said, the UF80s are under there. Yeah, the tuning cap on the smoothing cap on these is right under there. Really easy to get at. Not. That's something else. And of course, there's another capacitor which needs to be changed. I think we all know which one that is. It might be that actually. I think it might well be. If it's okay, I'll leave it, but if it's not, I'll change it. Okay. Another thing with these, by the way, is that BWS, among the other places, do tend to put the label in the worst possible place. This is something which I urge the BWS not to do in future, because it's not something which people like having to do. So yeah. Anyway, so now with this one through its end like that, let's see what happens here now. By the way, I had two of these, and one of them created a mighty bang at Goldborn. Yes, it's one of those sets, so maybe we should be careful. Not that I'd be careful, like, you know, because I've been doing this a long time, but if we want to be careful, maybe you should. So there you are. Let's see what happens. Okay, right, well, first of all, you know, I noticed straight away a hum which does not go down with the volume. Now this means that probably the smoothing capacitor here needs to be replaced. It's the G-bill here, okay, and it's right down there. So it's a very, very nice set in that respect. That there, hang on, sir, I'll turn it round. Okay, that there in the back, that's the transformer for the speaker. There's no transformer for the mains, because in this it's it's the dropper which is there behind these two valves. UY85, UL84, UABC80, UF89 probably, UCL8, UC881, and of course the two of those for medium wave. They have to be top notch or getting that way, otherwise the VHF will of course possibly not work, because they have to be, in some cases actually you swap them round, but don't say I told you that, okay? Anyway, let's get started with it, shall we? Yeah, so first thing we'll do is I'll leave that in place and we'll put the caps underneath. That seems to be the best way around that. Now that's it there, so it goes to down here somewhere, which I've got to look to find. It's these two here, okay. Now there is a cap in between them, I don't know where that is yet. I will in fact possibly get the circuit for this and do it that way, just for completeness' sake, because the other one probably does need it actually. That's the one that did go bang, by the way. Anyway, we'll get back to work with it and hopefully sort it out. Well, in the end I did take care of the case. It's a case for having to. There are a lot of these capacitors, these licorice all sort of things in, but I won't try to eat them for you. I took them out, including the one across the mains, which in the previous set went off with a big bang at Goulburn. Also I took this out as well because it was rather badly fitted. I might use it actually as that capacitor, because that had not been changed on this. But despite that, despite the UY85 being out of circuit, despite also now some reason R39 being open circuit, it still shows as though there's a short circuit. Seriously, the bulb comes on. Not very bright, but you know, it comes on. Now, why this is one of those things which I really don't know, because there shouldn't be anything going through this at all. Nothing. But for some reason there is. All the valves are out, continued with it, so it's not there. The HT obviously is not there, so you know that all that will do is take out the heaters. All I can think of is a short circuit, partial short circuit to earth somewhere, because with valve 7 out of circuit, it's out of circuit as well, it won't be any of these other valves on here. It can't be. It can't be. So yeah, because look at the circuit, negative goes to deck. That's how it should be. Okay, negative goes to deck. So if I put that to deck like that, it's a meter on like that. One dial check, and there you are. Okay, now then, it's there. But if I go to the positive side, it doesn't show very much, but there's obviously something there, otherwise the bulb wouldn't light up. Okay, it's only a 40-watt bulb, but all the same, you know, in the circumstances, that shouldn't be lighting up. That bulb over there shouldn't be lighting up, but it is. So this is another interesting one. I get the me, you know. Well, I found it actually, and it wasn't any of these capacitors that were doing it. Some current was somewhere going through this, even though it was disconnected. So now I've taken everything fully out of the circuit down there, and now of course with that out, come on, out we go, out. Thank you very much. There's nothing at all. Absolutely not, as you can see from that. Okay, so now if I put that back in now, it's drawing current obviously, and of course it's buzzing, not because it's got any problem, but because next thing I've got to do here is check that and put other smoothers in. And where I'm going to put them, I don't really know at this point. I'm going to think about that. But we have got space underneath now. So let's have a look. On this lot down here, you see. Obviously it's down here, you see. I need to go and take a close look. But the place it goes from down there is straight to the cap, so I will do that. Basically, it goes straight to the capacitor. So that capacitor will just go underneath here, I think. Best place for it. So I'll put that one under there. Go into deck, obviously, and then we've got to sort out the other next. This one here, I think. Now let's see. Now, obviously, it's going through there as well, so that's obviously okay. So if need be, we can put it up top. It goes off pin 3 down here. So have a look down here, find out where pin 3 is. And lift it from there. I'll put it on top. I don't, the truth is, it doesn't really matter one way or the other as long as it goes there, you know. So yeah, that one I think could well come off that actually. That one is after R33 it goes down, so it goes to a pin up here as well, but before that it goes to the cap, so it goes on the main side, as it were, of the 8-put transformer there. So I'll obviously I'll need to, you know, force things through, but basically goes down there. Okay, fine. Okay, I wonder what that is. That one obviously goes. Obviously they go down there to that and that is now out of circuit. So you know. Anyway, I'll put them in one way or the other, and then of course there should be something coming out of the pen sod. Not any further, because one of these capacitors that I took out was that capacitor which needs to be put back in. In this situation, there's one or two things you can actually do to try and find the problem. First of all, if I was to power it, like so, and that meter there should rise. When it's warmed up, that meter will rise. And it's going, you see, like that. Like that. That's going up now. 60 and so on, 77. Okay, now then, what you do in turn is lift valves and see if they have any effect on it. That one doesn't. We quickly put them back in, because there will be enough Peter current to keep them working. Okay, so here again, there's enough, like that, and so on. So working our way down, working our way down. That one is obviously okay, not doing anything, apart from maybe not going back in the socket. There we are. This one, similarly, like that, and of course, again, with that back in there, like that. Again, it should come back up, which it does, as you can see there. Okay, right, and so now the UABC80, and that's the same, and of course the UL84. Now, when I pull that out, look at that now, 300 volts straight away. Now that tells us that the problem is either in this valve, a UL84, or it's somewhere around it. So, so I think the first thing we could do here is try putting a new UL84 in and see what it does. So I'll find one. There it is with another UL84 in. If I take that UL84 out, which I can't do because it's hot, it won't rise slowly, but that one drops it right down, so there's obviously some sort of short circuit in that. It might possibly be able to clear, but anyway, now that's okay there, like that, and that is okay like that. And there is actually some noise in the speaker. We know that chances are that that is okay. So now, radio goes on its front again. By the way, another thing with these, I might have mentioned this before, I might not. This is across the top here is not just an aerial. It is more than that. It is not a carrier handle either. Okay, you do not lift the chassis up and down with that. You don't, okay, because if it breaks, you're in a mess. So, tempting though it is, you don't do that. Okay, so now, with that, like that, I think that will go okay in there, like that. Let's see if we get any noise out of the first grid. We should actually. We do. Okay. So we know the pencil side of it is now okay. Next thing we do is put the capacitor in, and of course then it should run okay right up to the anode of the next valve along, which is a UABC80. That's the next thing we check. Well, two faults found so far here. The first one, of course, is that capacitor was put in the right place now, and of course there were no volts on this valve due to there being no volts to the two resistors here which go to it. They're there now, and so now it's there. Okay, but nowhere else. Now then, the next station back, the next valve back, is the UF8 something. Hang on. Anyway, whichever it is, the problem here is that that valve has not got any voltage on it either. Now, when I took that out of the circuit, it seems that a lot of things went from it, and so that means that therefore there and there won't be getting any power, and so radio won't work. So have we proved that? Well, switch it on like that goes in there like that, and hopefully not going to get anywhere it shouldn't. That goes down like that, and we know that it's there, so it comes up there. That's okay. Then of course it should drop as the valve warms up. That's there. Okay. Now coming over here, there appears to be nothing on that valve at all. And it's a UF89, okay, and Marconi one actually, but it's obviously been replaced sometime in the past. Now, the UF89 is a pentode, and for that reason, it will of course have two pins which have power on them. That power comes from R17 and R18. So looking at the circuit, R18 is there and R17 is there. Okay, so I bet they're both got nothing at all on them, because I cooked the wires to that over here, so they won't do. So those two need to be put together at the voltage end and fed to anywhere where they will come from. I'll probably go to the not the valve, because that's got, but probably I'll go up to the chassis. I don't know yet, but these two resistors need to come out from under here. They're checked, of course, and then of course we need to make sure that they do actually go to the right place. That's the IF valve wired up, and now you see, if you look in the circuit board here, 210 volts, okay there, 93 there, so that's okay. Now with those two in place now, you can do two things. One is you can put your signal generator on it, or you can just go. You might hear that, you might not. Okay, so we know from that that is working as well. So now we've got to look at the next one along, which is a UCH81. Now a UCH81 is a triode heptode mixer or frequency changer. Now these, generally speaking, take it off well, part of it is taken off S9 down here, which is probably that. Yeah, and S2 of course goes to S7. So looking at this, I would say that the signals, the voltages that we want are on pins number, hang on, pins number 3 by S9, which I need to work out. Also, that goes to the anode of the triode circuit of that. The other anode to the very mu heptode goes to R13. So we need to look at that as well. So it's so now we need to look at this valve here and find out, with the thing set on medium wave, where the voltages are, and of course where the voltages aren't. So on there, that actually is not doing anything, that actually. No, they appear to have been doing some of that, but those two on FM are dead. So yeah, anyway, so we'll look for those resistors, and of course find out from there where in the circuit they should be. I'm inclined to put that onto there. I'm inclined to put that onto there and see if it brings anything to life. It's amazing what happens when they get the power supply up and running, isn't it? That's medium wave, okay. Now long wave, I think there's a break in the coil. I'll check that in a minute. But that is, I think that is long wave. I think that is long wave. It's not, it's VHF, okay. Well, we'll see what. And it doesn't seem to want to do anything, does that? So now, as regards voltages on VHF, the first thing we need to check is the voltages on the two UF80s. This is quite an old set anyway, because it doesn't have the dreaded UCC83, which is a good thing because they do tend to fail. But the first thing we'll do is look at those and see. That goes to there, that goes to there, okay. Right, so also the voltages for the VHF on here go also to this control here. So the first thing we're going to do is find out whether they actually get through it or not. The chances are they're not. The chances are they're not. There it is, happily playing on Radio 3 VHF. It also works perfectly well, by the way, on medium wave. If you heard there. And long wave. So there you are. Now a working radio again. It had a rather strange fault actually. When these things develop VHF faults, the first thing you do is check these two valves that they're okay. By the way, you can swap them round if you need to. And, that's a little tip which I give it a few times. You can actually swap them two round. This one here is amplifier, VHF amplifier. This one is oscillator stage, and sometimes swapping them round makes the set work on it didn't before. It's one of those things. But if you can get new ones, these are UF80s, then of course that's the best thing to do. But now it's working. We'll put it back together again and we give it a final try.
They're making their way forward here.
Here it is, a working Philips radio again. A Philips. These sets are quite common. I've got two. The other one I can't do because I'm off to Jamaica tomorrow, so I won't be on here for a while. But keep the faith, keep fixing radios and all the rest of it. But with these, first of all, this one had a faulty UL 84. The UC rather than this because it's a dropper. You know, the other thing with this actually had a very interesting fault on the VHF side. First of all, when I first of all decided to measure the HT line, it dropped purely because of an inter-electro short on the original UL41. Now in that case, I changed it UL41, VHF came back, sorry, medium wave came back, long wave didn't because there was a break on the antenna which I've fixed, and then of course I had to go inside the box actually for medium, for FM. In these, it's a bit difficult to do, but you can. And I found the resistor inside it got open circuit. So when I changed that resistor, 2.2K, up it came. In the meantime, it had actually gone short circuit and also was tucked in the case. I don't know which one was causing it to fail, but I've put it somewhere where it isn't likely to do that again. And so there you are, a working radio again now. Anyway, I'll be back sometime in the future, probably from America, but in the meantime, whatever you're doing, have a great time, keep fixing radios, and from Steve Pendlebury's Long Stay Vintage Radio Workshop, for now, goodbye. I'll be with you again in America as soon as I can. Bye bye. Switch it back on again, shall we? Takes a while to warm up this one actually. I think it's had a lot of use and all the valves in it are past the best, but there you go.
Doku now running at his man, backing off into the penalty area. Is that a